So the NBA playoff picture has finally come all together, and I got the pettiest man alive himself, P.Kidd from the Windy City Breeze in the building, and we're going to talk about the play-in and the first round of the playoffs.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
And let's go ahead and start at the Western Conference. The New Orleans Pelicans and Oklahoma City Thunder. Brother, how you feeling about this matchup?
First off, I got Pels. Pels out the gate. We're not even gonna mix words with it. So not gonna mix words with it. But I do like the fact that, out of any team that you can match up with the Pelicans, like if you wanted an entertaining playing game, you can't tell me that this game doesn't market itself as a entertaining game. Like
facts.
So I it's one of those things where you hope for the toss up. Shai has had a phenomenal season, right? They got some youngins on that team that can really go. I like oh man, I just had his name. Flowy hair. Has really good hair. You know what I'm talking about.
Jose Alvarado?
Nah, on OKC. Really good hair.
OKC. Who is that?
You look like a young Tom Cruise almost.
Yeah. Dang it. What is his name? Josh Giddey.
Josh Giddey. I mean, they got some pieces over there. So to see them win would be like, I'm okay with it. I have no dog in that particular fight, obviously, but I got Pels. I mean, Brandon Ingram looks like a young KD right now.
Bro.
Killing it. Man, who you got over there? What you like?
Man, listen. I know me and you don't talk. We haven't talked a lot of general basketball, but like you mentioned, Brandon Ingram. I'm super high on Brandon Ingram. And I have been for like the last 2 years, bro. I look at Brandon Ingram as a player. I had a hot take earlier where I'm like, maybe the Pels, not get rid of Zion, but maybe they need to more so build around the skill set of Brandon Ingram, especially with Zion not ever being able to stay healthy. So I'm with you, man. I got Pels here all day. That's not any disrespect to Shai and them. Like I feel like Shai, if he had a better team, if that team would have even been able to get to the 4th or 5th seed, I think he'd be in MVP conversation. That's the level of season that he had.
Sure.
But the Pelicans, man, to me, it's too many weapons there, bro. And I know Zion probably isn't going to be available that game, but I just don't see what they do with Brandon Ingram, bro. I just don't see what they're going to do.
I also think the veteran presence, CJ McCollum, on that team helps a lot. That's the one thing OKC doesn't really have. They don't have a serviceable vet of that caliber, in my opinion, that will help them get over that hump. We saw what CP3 was able to do with a young Shai and everything like that. They don't have that presence there. I could be mistaken, but last time I looked at that roster, they don't have a vet that can actually give them that type of impact. I think that's going to be the biggest difference. CJ didn't have the success he wanted, but they've made some good playoff runs in Portland. And I think that know-how, you just can't teach that. You got to experience it. So that's the one thing I think will get them over the hump. So
I agree.
I'm looking for a good series.
I think it's gonna be a fun game, and I think that, to me, I just think that also the Pels, if it does get close, Pels have that second gear they can go into defensively that the OKC Thunder just don't have quite yet. So, we'll see what ends up happening with them long term. But all right, we both got the Pels there. Next up, the Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who will be without Rudy Gobert, by the way.
By the way, the NBA did not suspend that man.
No, it was the team. Yeah.
Hey man, listen, somebody needs to be fired over there. I would just say that. Like they just are consistently doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Like what is it? McDaniels broke his hand, self-inflicted injury.
Yeah.
Come on, dog. Rudy Gobert gets suspended for punching his teammate in the chest
for a weak punch at that. At least make it count.
I mean, come on. I got Lakers simply because I think somebody mailed this one in, dog. Somebody said something, but I got the Lakers clearly. Like I don't know. I like Ant. I hope he does well. I hope he has a great career. But there's some cultural things over there that's just not working out right now. So
that's a fact. Yeah, I got the Lakers too. I just think, like, when you look at how that team changed at the trade deadline, they're way too deep, especially now that they're not going to have Gobert either. I got the Lakers easily. So that means that we're going to see the Pels versus the Minnesota in the matchup to see who gets the 8 seed in that case. Who you have there?
With Gobert back?
If he's going to be back, we don't even know for sure or not. But yeah, for this nature, let's say he's back.
The last report I said was only a 1-game suspension, which would be the game against the Lakers. So, I mean, kind of works out for them. I'm going to go Minnesota.
Okay.
I'm going to go Minnesota for one reason alone. Brandon Ingram does a lot around the basket. I'm not saying he doesn't have it, but he's a mid-range killer. He gets to the bucket a lot. I think Jose Alvarado, he does the same. They have a lot of players that are impactful around the rim.
Yeah.
And Rudy Gobert is Stifle Tower for a reason. Like, it may
That's
be
a
the
fact.
weakest name that they've given a player, but I mean, he does his thing. So I kind of see them like in a 1-game scenario. I could see Minnesota pulling that out.
I feel that. I'm still gonna pick the Pels here just because I just want to see the Pels. Like, I think that there's so much going on with Minnesota internally. I just think that team may not have that mental gear to be able to come over the Pels. And then I also look at, like, now without Jaden McDaniels being there, he's probably their best bet to guard Brandon Ingram. So I'm gonna pick the Pels there to go on. But all right, that takes us to the Eastern Conference play-in. We have our Chicago Bulls against the Toronto Raptors. How you feeling about this matchup?
Optimistic.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit my homer for a moment. In all sincerity, this is a tough matchup for us. Like, if all the teams for us to play in the play-in, I wouldn't have wanted to play them.
Agreed.
I really wouldn't. That they have the good side. They have size over us. They have balanced scoring. Last time they beat us, I think they had like 4 or 5 people hitting their double digits. We're very top heavy. They have their others do more consistently, more on a consistent basis than our others, if that makes sense. You know, I'm not saying that they have the best supporting cast, but they all have contributed on a consistent basis for them to even be in these situations. And most importantly for me, they have a better coach.
That's the difference there.
So I think Nick Nurse is going to, in a 1-game scenario, I'm not going to put anything past them. I really wouldn't. What you see?
Same. I think Nick Nurse is the difference maker. I mean, yeah, they're linked, the Toronto Raptors linked, and DeMar DeRozan is averaging the lowest points per game on any team in the league against the Toronto Raptors. That's his lowest point per game total. So that length is going to make it difficult for DeMar DeRozan to get to work mid-range. And what we've seen from this team is that when DeMar can't get going mid-range, it congests up the lane for Vooch, so that kind of takes both of them out the game. And we already know what Jakob Poeltl did against Vooch so far in their career. So yeah, and then when you add in the coaching, and I just think Nick Nurse is such a better coach at making adjustments overall than Billy Donovan. I hate to say it, man, but I think that this is going to be a Toronto Raptors win. So,
same boat, man. Hey, we kind of walked into this. I didn't know we were going to agree on so much so far. Let's see what the rest of this looks like.
Exactly. I'm sure the disagreement's coming. Miami, Atlanta. How you feeling?
Miami, smacking them at the crib. Are they in Atlanta?
They're in Miami.
Oh, they're gonna smack them at home. Yeah, smack.
Yeah.
I'm not a Trae Young fan though.
You are a Trae Young fan?
I'm not.
Oh yeah, I hate Trae Young. To me, Trae Young is like I'm not a Trae Young. I make fun of Trae Young all the time. So yeah, I'm going with you, Miami. There. Let's see if we start disagreeing now. Let's go to the actual first round of the playoffs. So Memphis, we both had the Lakers going here. Memphis Lakers. How you feeling about this matchup?
Lakers.
Okay, this is where we disagree because I got Memphis all day long. And I think that, to me, you know, what Memphis went through last season, and I think even what him having to step away from the game, I hope that that's going to put him in a better mindset and just focus on winning. And I think that if the Memphis Grizzlies are hitting their threes, I don't see the Lakers being able to step up enough defensively, man.
The thing about it is the mental aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And even if Ja's there, I don't know if everyone else is.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't like Dylan Brooks. Is he really there? You know, can you get punked out of this game? It's LeBron. Like,
yeah.
He may not be my GOAT. He may not even, I don't know if he's yours or not, but it's LeBron.
Yeah.
And that's a different atmosphere when you face LeBron. And it's not like AD's healthy. He's cooking. How many games he gonna cook? I mean, that's a different story. But I mean, like, you know, I won't put a younger team, no matter what their record is. And by the way, the gap between second and like eighth is like within less than 10 games.
Yeah,
it's really close. So it's not like they're much better. Like, they're not much better than the Lakers since the trade. So I know that's saying a lot. I'm probably, you know, going on a rant at this point, but I just don't see them beating a healthy Lakers team constructed properly around LeBron.
All right. And see, the thing that I think for me, what makes the difference is Jaren Jackson Jr. I think what he's able to do defensively and keeping other teams from getting easy buckets at the rim. And I think that's going to make it especially difficult for AD. It may make it difficult for LeBron. And I look at Austin Reeves too. I think that Desmond Bane and how he's going to be able to guard Austin Reeves may make a big difference in that as well. So that's why I'm picking the Memphis Grizzlies to go over. I can see the Lakers winning the series. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't see the Lakers getting past the second round, but I can't see them beating them. But I can't bet against Memphis just because of what they're able to do defensively. And if they're able to unlock that mental part of the game, I think they'll get past the Lakers.
Let me ask you this real quick. So Dennis Schroeder, D'Lo, they just picked up Tristan Thompson. I'm not saying that like he's gonna be the world breaker, or anything, right? but like, do those pieces move anything for you?
Dennis Schroeder, yes, because he's just for whatever he's not a star level player at all, but sometimes he has a star level impact for that Lakers team. And I think in a game where they are guard heavy in Memphis and they have guards that are a huge part of their rotation, I think Dennis Schroeder, if Dennis Schroeder can have an Andre Iguodala like series, Lakers win that series. So
I look at Tristan Thompson, the Tristan Thompson pickup, specifically like when you talk about Jaren Jackson. The mental game. Tristan may not be the best athlete. You know, he didn't do a whole lot for us. But for a good minute, you know, that Pat Bev effect, you know, that Tristan effect, same thing for a good 2-3 games. We talking about, you know, best out of 7. I can see him finessing his way out that first round little matchup right there. I ain't saying it's going further, but I'm saying you played right. I can see that working just to annoy and just get those young guys off their game. And that's the part that you know, that's what Draymond did with the Celtics. True. That's what they've done. You know, sometimes it's just that mental piece, but we'll see, man. The Lakers shouldn't be here anyway, but we'll see.
Yeah. Shout out to Tristan for getting his yearly NBA contract to pay off his child support. That's all that is.
You need it. Run it up.
Next matchup, Sacramento Kings versus the Golden State Warriors, man. This has probably been my most difficult one for me to kind of gauge, because the Kings they have one of the best statistical offensive in NBA history. But then again, we know with the Golden State Warriors, once they get into the playoffs, what they did in the regular season almost doesn't matter. They seem to always be able to kick it in the second gear. This is probably the first year where I'm not as confident in them being able to do that as like previous years. How you thinking about this series?
Hey, man, we probably need to kick it more often. See, everybody thought I was smoking when I said this. I think the Kings have not only a good chance to beat the Golden State Warriors, but I really think this is probably their last year together.
Okay.
As a collective unit, Draymond, Clay, things like that. And the new CBA kind of is going to play a lot into that anyway. Yeah. So, but the one thing that everyone keeps forgetting that I speak to is Mike Brown. Mike Brown has been on the Golden State Warriors coaching staff.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
When you consider anyone who can game plan and things of that nature, Mike Brown can game plan for that team. I'm not saying it's going to work. I mean, hey, players still have to play. But you think about a coach who could put you in the best positions, I think Mike Brown can do it.
That's fair. I can't poke no holes in that. I think that's a fair analysis. So you picking the Kings over the Golden State Warriors?
I got Kings in 7.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to go 7 games. I think this may be the most, like, much like the Bulls Celtics series from almost a decade ago. I think this is going to be similar, but I think the Kings are going to pull this one out.
Can I add a little cap? Kings in 7 if Wiggins. It really depends on Wiggs. I'm not going to lie to you.
He is a difference maker for that team. Yeah.
If Wiggs comes back and he's the Wiggins of last year, I mean, we haven't seen him in like a month. You know, so I don't know what we're getting. But if he could come out and he ain't missed a beat, then I have the Warriors in 7. But if it's one of those things, I'm expecting him to take some time. It's going to like be some build up. That may be a game or 2 for them. I got Kings in 7.
Cool. I agree with you there. I mean, we agreeing a lot more than I thought. You know what's funny? Because Pat says a lot. I don't know if he's ever told you. He's like, you and Kidd are more alike than what you guys think. I'm like, what do you mean by that? Now I'm starting to see it. Phoenix Clippers. I'm just gonna bury the hatchet here. I got Phoenix all day long. I think this is gonna go 6 games, but Phoenix got it in 6.
Is Paul George back?
That's the thing. I think they've said that he's going to miss the whole first round of the playoffs, right?
You know what, we did this earlier. I didn't get anything conclusive, so that's a big question mark for me.
Yeah. If
Paul George comes back at any point during this series, I got Clippers, and it's not because I don't think KD, Devin Book, D-Book, Aiden. I don't think that it's not because I don't think they're a good team. It's the depth. The Clippers just had too many pieces. I mean, the Clippers got Norman Powell just be sitting there sometimes.
Yeah.
You don't know what he gonna get, but he a bucket. Paul George, that's 20 and 5, 25 and 5, easy. If he's healthy. Kawhi's just on a different level right now. Mason Plumlee matching up against Aiden, excuse me. Yeah. I think is a bigger issue than most people give credit for. And then Russ is sticking Chris Paul.
That's points were made. Points were made. I just had to think about that. Points were made.
I mean, do with that what you will, but I mean, Russ is sticking Chris Paul, and Chris Paul got to stick him.
That's fair. I think too, like when you look at this series, to me, I guess the reason why I'm picking Phoenix in this one too is because Paul George isn't at least going to be healthy to start, and I wonder if even if he misses 2 games, is that going to be too much of a deficit for them to overcome? I
feel that.
Yeah. So. And I don't look at Phoenix being this unbeatable team, because I definitely think they're beatable. I just if you could ever bet on the Clippers just being 100% healthy, they may be my pick to come out the West almost, bro.
True, and I think that the one thing too is I think Okogie is down.
Oh, Josh Okogie's down.
Okogie hurt his knee real bad the other day. I don't know how long he's out.
That's another thing to look out for.
So if he's out longer or for any extended period of time, I mean, they just don't have the bench. They just made a blockbuster trade. They got rid of a lot of pieces. Yeah. It is what it is. If you could get KD, you get KD. You work everything out in the offseason. And so for the simple fact that we are even considering them as a favorite in the West, it's still a credit to them. So
facts.
The pressure is not on them at all for me.
Agreed, 100% on that one. Now, Denver matchup. We had different teams going forth in here. I had the Pelicans. I think you had Minnesota. But either way, are you picking either one of those teams over Denver Nuggets?
I'm picking. I can't really say that though. I don't believe in Denver.
You don't? Okay. That's a lot of people share that mindset. So
I don't know why. I just don't. I'm not convinced. Here's the thing. Do I believe in Jokic? Facts. Yeah, straight up, right? Do I believe in Michael Porter Jr.? No, not really. Jamal Murray, okay, cool. Do I believe in Aaron Gordon? Do they have enough around him? MPJ is had a good impact, but he's also very injury prone, and he don't stick defense.
Yeah, he's a turnstile on defense.
So if they play the Minnesota Timberwolves, who sticks Ant-Man again? Aaron Gordon?
Are you playing Bones a lot? Well, Bones is coming off the bench, though.
Who's sticking Cat?
Yeah.
Is Jokic sticking Cat?
So that's a great point. I mean, KCP is probably who they're going to stick on him at least to try at first, and I think he's going to get cooked. That's barbecue chicken.
I mean, as much as I don't like the Timberwolves culture and the fact that they make a lot of boneheaded mistakes, they are still a playoff team. They're in this play-in, but Cat was down what, maybe 30 games? Am I wrong?
Yeah, he missed. Yeah, just sounds about right. I know he missed
a considerable amount of time.
Yeah, a huge amount of time.
So since they got him back, they're 7-3. Well, they've been 7-3 the last 10. So I don't know exactly when they got him back because obviously it's not my premier team or primary team, but they've been cooking. So I don't know. I'm not a huge Denver believer, but I'm also not a huge Jokic fan either. So that's a different conversation. So I got Minnesota.
Cat missed 53 games this season.
God dang. Are we really judging this team?
That's wild, bro. That's crazy. I didn't realize he missed that many. 53 games he missed. Hey.
How do you even evaluate this team?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point because I know a lot of people, judge how it seemed like him and Gobert couldn't play together, but it's really when you're looking at it, that was a new team that came together. It takes some time. So
facts, I don't know. Right. You know what? Can I walk this back?
Yeah.
Can I check Beard? You play Beard?
Yeah, of course.
Let me check Beard. I'm gonna go 5-0 on. I'm gonna go 5. Denver's gonna do it. Denver's gonna do it. I don't have any faith in them winning the championship, but I think Denver's gonna get them.
Okay,
I just don't have any confidence in it. I really
I wouldn't. I'm not gonna pick Denver to win the title. Like Denver could be up 3-0 in the finals, and I still be like, I don't know, man. They may drop it. I just there's something just about Denver that just doesn't seem like yeah, Jokic is super talented, and I love Jokic as a player, but it's like I just don't trust those pieces around him at all in the final side. Like they're gonna win some series, but in the finals, I just don't know. Until I see it, I can't believe it. So
you think he gets moved?
Who? Jokic?
What do you think happens with that team? Like we all agree. Like there's not one podcast or YouTuber I've talked to that agrees that Denver has it. What do you think is missing? Like what's the thing? We can't put our finger on it.
I think they're gonna. I honestly think if Jokic ever gets a star guard, that's when that's what would change it. Like having that big man and what he's able to do, and having a star guard who can also facilitate and do some scoring to kind of ease that up off of Jokic when he needs it. I think that would be the thing that would separate. Like it'll never happen, for example, but like Kyrie, if he was to go to Denver, I think my whole mindset on that team would change.
Well, they're killing Kyrie everywhere he go, even if he has.
Bro, everybody just likes to blame everything on Kyrie. And don't get me wrong, he's not perfect. And I think sometimes, like, people, whether they realize it or not, they have a bias against the stuff that he says that has nothing to do with basketball. But come on, man.
Facts. I just put this out there. He has a positive plus minus since being in Dallas. Luka has a negative one.
Yeah, Luka's gonna have a tough NBA career ahead of him, man, until he learns how to play with other people. But that's a story for another day. Let's get to the East, man. The 1-8 matchup that we have, that we both have, it'll be the Toronto Raptors versus the Milwaukee Bucks. How are we feeling about that one?
Oh, Bucks. I got Bucks as the champion, by the way.
Okay, yeah, I feel that. No conversation there. I ain't even gonna belabor that one. Probably the most interesting first round matchup. Cleveland, New York.
Cavs.
How many games?
In 7.
7. Cavs in 7. I got Cavs in 6, and that's 100% complete biasness because I just hate the Knicks, and I will never pick the Knicks to win the series. I just won't do it. So,
where did that come from?
Birth, bro. I've hated the Knicks literally since like my dad hated Patrick Ewing, and so like legit, we would watch Bulls games. Keep in mind, I grew up in Germany, so we'd be up at like 2:00 in the morning watching Bulls games. And my dad, if they played the Knicks, my dad legit, he would have on his Bulls jersey, and then he would have a Knicks jersey that he like dirtied up, stepped on, it was ripped up, that he would sit there every time. So it's ingrained in me to hate the Knicks. I hate the Knicks. Bro.
Wow. Hey, listen, your pops is a good man right there. That's 90s basketball right there. That's the 90s fan.
For sure.
I don't believe that Jalen Brunson is going to outduel Darius Garland, let alone Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
You know, I think people look at Darius Garland, they don't remember that he was the bucket before Donovan Mitchell got there. Like, you know, he can do it. So, hey, I think that they just have too much for him. Plus, I'm not a Tom Thibodeau fan. I don't like Tom.
I think Thibodeau is like, he has a 5-year max at any team he goes to. By year 5, the fan base and the players hate him.
He reminds me of what Bill Belichick looks like now.
That's fair. And like Tim's isn't a bad coach at all, but it's just like, hey man, you just know he's gonna burn out. Like, and it is what it is there, man.
That's just a running joke. He's gonna run his players to the ground, and it's like, you think it's not true. It's kind of true. And it's like, come on, Tibbs, we gotta do something different, baby. What so, but I got Cavs in 7.
All right, cool. Philly, Brooklyn. I got this one. I'm going Philly in 5. I think Brooklyn's going to have that one game where they're like, damn, is this young team really doing that? But I think Philly in 5 in this one.
That's funny. I had Philly in 6.
Okay.
Earlier. So we on the same thing. I think they go etch out 1 or 2 close games, but then the rest of it, they just, newly constructed a bunch of tier 2 or Robins, as Pat would like to say. Yeah. So I don't see no defensive Batman that helped them get over the hump, but I'm happy that they've gotten to the playoffs. So here's a fun fact, though. Did you know that Ben Simmons is in the playoffs?
Oh, crap. He is, isn't he, technically? That's crazy.
Hey, what if Ben Simmons plays a game and goes nuts, bro? What if he plays a game and is a defensive clamp and clamps up Embiid?
Bro, the storylines on that would be hilarious, man. Ben Simmons is just like he's a cautionary tale of how if you don't develop your game, it doesn't matter all the talent you have in the world. You got to still develop, bro. Like, but hey, I would love to see Ben Simmons have just because if he does that, especially people in Brooklyn, they're just gonna be, oh, we're gonna be great next season. Nah, man, it's still Ben Simmons, bro.
If somebody is connected to Ben, give him this. I want you to do it. Just one good time, because I don't think your career is done. I think it's done in Brooklyn, but I don't think your career is done. Just do it one good time for me. Just be petty. Just be petty. Just go out there and just mess the game up for Embiid. Just one good time. I believe in you. You can do it.
I believe it. That's funny. All right, last one that we got in this episode: Boston, and this would be Miami. Boston and Miami. Who you picking in this one?
I don't know. Whoever it is going 7.
I don't know how controversial this is going to be. I got Miami in 7, and I just for some reason I know that Miami this season has just looked like the team that time has just passed them up. They haven't really been able to kind of all the way click like they have before, and some of their bigger players are getting older, but for some reason, I just think that Jimmy Butler is just going to lock in this game, and him and Bam are going to go on a level that it may catch Boston off guard. I got Miami in 7 in this.
So I just want to say this because somebody's going to see this. But didn't you say Celtics? I was struggling with it earlier. So mind you, that was 9:00 this morning. It's 9:00 at night. I've seen and I've watched so much tape and film, and I'm like, man, Miami got a real chance.
Yeah.
And then I brought in that dog mentality. I was like, it's only one team that really got that dog mentality. If Tyler Hero can help you win a game, I think they could do it. So I'm going to recant my earlier statement. I'm going to say I am rooting for Jimmy Butler to smack the Celtics. I really am. I think they don't respect him enough. So I think I'm rooting for that to happen. That's the fan in me is saying that right now.
And I think there's going to be a game in this series, maybe even a couple of them, where Tyler Hero and Max Strus both go just unconscious from 3-point range, and Boston's just gonna be sitting there like, what just happened? And I think, like, I don't know, man. I just have a good feeling about it. Watch them end up getting swept just because I picked them to win the series, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Right now, that's my pick. I'm locking it in.
I'm going to tell you something that I didn't think of, and I haven't heard it today. But, as you can tell, I'm really big on who's leading the helm. So coaching, it matters to me.
For sure.
Joe Mazzulla, if I'm saying his name correctly, it's his first year really running it. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, first year.
I know he has the roster, and sometimes that works. So you got to have the players to win big in this league. But does he know how to manage the game when it's really close in playoff environments? Eric Spoelstra can do that.
Yeah.
His team can. He still has that team there. The Celtics haven't been tested that way for us to really know, and that unknown to me is like, hey, it's a real tough situation to be facing Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat first round as a new coach. Like, you will want a weaker team, but it's like if it was the Bulls, you got me, right?
Yeah, facts.
I don't think you got that like that.
And that's a great point, because Eric Spoelstra is one of the better X's and O's coaches in the league. On top of that, he's been through it. He's been through the playoff series. He knows how to dig in. And Joe Mazzulla, we just have not seen that from him yet. And if Joe Mazzulla, I'll tell you this, if Joe Mazzulla somehow gets this team in his rookie year to ECF, hey, I may pick them every year after that to win the East. But right now, I just think that the roster that they have, the veterans that they have with Miami, and Eric Spoelstra being there as well, I just think when it gets tight in that series, they're going to be the team that comes out on top.
Man, I agree with you. I want to throw this at you real quick if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of legacies that are going to be impacted by this playoffs. Like, the Warriors dynasty could absolutely be coming to a complete end this playoff run. LeBron's can cement himself as the GOAT for real in almost anybody's mind, really, with an extra ring. That's at stake there. They playing well. The Boston Celtics are on the cusp of, like, they should win. They should get there.
Yeah.
If they don't, the story with Jaylen Brown, how the new CBA impacts that and stuff like that, I think I haven't dug too deep in that. I know you're probably more well versed than I am, but that's on the line. They've been together for a while. but he's in every trade talk that comes up for the Celtics. If they want to trade them for 2 packs of cigs, Jaylen Brown is on the table for some odd reason.
It's so odd, bro. Like, you would think he's terrible. Like, it's weird. It's really weird, man.
Okay, come on, dog. Like, I can't. He was on every trade talk. Like, this is the first time I'll say, like, KD's legacy is not on the line because he just got traded midseason and they have an empty roster. Devin Booker is not on the line. Chris Paul's not even on the line. Like, but for these other teams, Joel Embiid, if he doesn't do anything this season, the process probably did the process work? Like, what's your thoughts on all those different storylines coming into this playoff?
Man, I had never thought about it like framed that way. I don't think there's any way the Lakers are winning the title. So that as far as cementing him. So I think they definitely have a chance, because considering they'll have a full max level contract they can offer to somebody is bananas to me with how they've added to that team. But the process, you put a nail in the process. The process did not work. It got you a hell of a player in Joel Embiid, an MVP candidate, but they tanked for 10 years and have not even made a damn finals yet. That's why when people go to tanking, it's like, hey, listen, tanking ain't worked for that team. The Boston part of it, here's what I'll say. Like, they have all the storylines going into that too. If they can somehow, I don't think they can, but if they can come out of this with a title, you are talking about starting a new dynasty. And if they do get eliminated in the first round, like me and you both have said here, that Jaylen Brown trade, it's looking more and more likely as things go on. Because like you said, it's like they want a 12-pack of orange soda and they throw Jaylen Brown on the table for it. I don't understand it. But yeah, man, there is a lot of storylines, a lot of legacy things, and then you talk about the new CBA and how that's going to impact being able to keep a lot of these teams together.
Yep.
This may be the last time that we see, maybe next season, last season, we see most of these teams together, but it's going to start this offseason. And man, I can't wait to watch it, because a parity was a thing this year in the NBA, and they may have guaranteed it's going to be a thing going forward, because a lot of these super teams is going to be breaking up real soon.
That's been my biggest thing with Adam Silver. I think every commissioner has made their mark in some way. David Stearns was to get it global, push it out there, make it star driven. And I think he did that. I mean, Michael Jordan's a true product of that, if you really think about it. But parity in the league and continuing that international push, us adopting more, this play-in tournament is more of an international style of play. The mid-season tournament next season is definitely going to be it's new for us, but it's definitely something the international scene is going to really pick up and gravitate towards. They understand it better. The Africa League, like Adam Silver was like, hey, we're not going to have these stacked teams. We're going to make every game entertaining. We want the world to be watching every team. And I think he's done a great job with it. You're going to ruffle some feathers when you do it, but he's done a great job with it. And as the last thing I would say, are you paying James Harden $50 million?
No.
Well, that's what we know where they going. Win or lose, we know they ain't keeping that team together.
Exactly. That's it for that. That's James Harden going to be we'll see, man. Hey, but I appreciate you for joining me, Kidd, man. Tell the people where they can find you at, brother.
Man, listen, you can catch me on the Windy City Breeze with my guy Pat. He's always on Locked On with this guy right here, that Petty Roosevelt. He called me the pettiest man alive, but Petty Roosevelt comes out sometimes. I just don't understand that. So you can catch me on Twitter at 1P.Kidd as well, man. I appreciate you having me on, for real, Haize.
Anytime, bro, man. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you for hopping on. I'll have you on again as we go through the playoffs, man. You guys can follow us. Follow me at CEO Haize. You can follow the show at NBA Central Pod. You can follow my other show at Bulls Central Pod. But that's it. We out this mug. Holla at y'all later. Peace.
That's just gonna keep the list going.
Oh no, it's gotten too long now, bro. I can't plug every.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.